What if I told you that the way you speak is shaping your reality, word by word? No exaggeration. Every phrase you casually drop might be invoking scarcity, draining your energy, and keeping you stuck right where you are, without you even realizing it. You learned how to speak before you even knew what you were saying, and that's exactly the problem. Words like struggle, hard, and survival became part of your automatic vocabulary. But what if those words aren't just expressions? What if they're vibrational codes, silently programming your mind to stay in a loop? In this video, you'll discover how language influences your brain, your energy, your emotions, and even your biology. You'll see how governments, religions, and the media use certain words to shape behavior. And more importantly, how you can break that spell and start using your words as tools for creation and freedom. If that already blew your mind, just wait for what's coming. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because you're about to reclaim the power of something that's always been yours, your voice. It might sound like something out of a fantasy book, but here's the truth. Words are spells, literally. Think about it. We even call it spelling. From the moment we learn to talk, we're taught how to describe the world, but no one tells us we're also being trained to limit it. Words carry vibrations, and those vibrations shape our thoughts, our energy, and eventually our actions. Every time we repeat a phrase like, "I'm not good at this," or "I never catch a break," we're reinforcing an invisible script that locks us in. When you speak, you're not just making noise, you're tuning the frequency of your life. It's like programming a GPS without realizing it. You say, "I'm always broke," and guess what? Your subconscious starts navigating toward that reality. The problem is, most of us inherited our vocabulary from people who were also trapped. Parents, teachers, media, all shaping how we speak and therefore how we think. It's not that they meant harm, they just didn't know the power of the code they were passing on. You ever notice how certain words just feel heavy? Like saying, depressed or stuck, drags your whole energy down. That's not random, it's vibration. And vibration is everything. Just like a tuning fork can make a whole surface hum, your words ripple into your energy field. This is why ancient traditions used mantras, chants, and sacred sounds. They understood language isn't decoration, it's technology. It builds, destroys, awakens, or numbs. And what's wild is, the spells we cast most often are the ones about ourselves. I'm too shy, I'm not smart enough, I can't change. All of it is black magic in disguise. We don't need a wand to curse ourselves, just a careless tongue and a tired belief. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Those spells, once cast enough times, start becoming our identity. Here's something most people never stop to realize. Words are not just tools to describe what is. They shape what we perceive to be. In other words, language is the blueprint of your inner reality. Every word you use wires a pathway in your brain. Say something enough times and it becomes not just a thought but a belief. And beliefs are what drive your life, whether you're aware of them or not. Think of your mind like an operating system, and words are the code that runs it. When you say, "I always mess things up," your brain takes it literally. It files that line of code away and uses it to make decisions, filter opportunities, and even sabotage potential success, just to stay consistent with that programming. It's like running an outdated app that keeps crashing, but you don't realize it's the language behind it causing the glitch. That's why changing the way you speak isn't about being positive or nice. It's about reprogramming your mental software. Swapping "I can't" for "I'm learning how to" doesn't just sound better, it functions better. Your subconscious mind responds differently. It opens loops of possibility rather than closing doors. This isn't just mindset stuff. This is neuroscience backed by real data. One powerful practice is to become a quiet observer of your own language for a day. Catch how often you say things like, "I have no choice," "I'm stuck," or "that's just the way I am." Those are not facts, they're code. And the beautiful part, code can be rewritten. Let's play a little game. Have you ever stopped to question the real meaning behind the words you use every day? Most people don't. And yet, some of the most normal words are packed with hidden symbolism, like secret codes hiding in plain sight. Take the word mortgage, for example. Sounds like a grown-up responsible term, right? But break it down. Mort, death, plus gage, pledge. Literally, a death pledge. Makes you think twice, doesn't it? This isn't about paranoia, it's about awareness. Words like contract imply binding, limiting, closing down possibilities. Or even human, a combination of hue, color or shade, and man. Some say it suggests we're mere shades, or versions of something greater, not the full essence. While that's open to interpretation, the point is, these terms carry weight, and the moment we speak them unconsciously, we absorb their embedded meanings. Another one, awaken. It sounds spiritual and light-filled, but look closer. It contains wake, the same word used to describe a vigil held for the dead. Language is layered like that. Some of it is etymology, yes, but some of it feels more encoded, as if there's a hidden script we've been reading from without ever realizing it. Becoming aware of these linguistic traps doesn't mean we stop speaking. It means we speak differently, with intention, with discernment. Words are more than definitions. They're symbols, frequencies, and cultural agreements. And once you start seeing through them, it's like finding the hidden menu in a video game. We grow up thinking language is neutral, just words. But society has carefully crafted a linguistic landscape that subtly trains us to obey, comply, and conform. Ever notice how certain official words instantly trigger submission? Like the word summons. It's not just an invitation, it's a demand. Wrapped in legalese, it carries the vibration of authority and consequence, and we instinctively fall in line. Take a word like authority. At first glance, it just means someone in charge, right? But it also contains author, the one who writes the story. So when someone is in authority, they're literally seen as writing the rules of your reality. That's powerful. The question is, who gave them the pen? Most of the time, we handed it over without even realizing it, just by agreeing to the language of the system. Even common terms like occupation have dual meanings. On one hand, it means your job. On the other, it's what armies do to control territory. Subtle, huh? That overlap isn't just coincidence. It reflects a deeper psychological design. Society reinforces control through language that feels natural, even harmless until you see the layers beneath. This framework keeps people in their lanes, not through force, but through words. And when you understand the spell behind the structure, you begin to reclaim your own narrative. You realize that just because a word is common doesn't mean it's neutral, and suddenly, your vocabulary becomes a toolbox instead of a trap. Here's a little shift in perspective that can change everything. Emotion is just energy in motion. Yep, break down the word, emotion, and you get movement. That means every time you speak, you're either stirring your energy toward expansion or contraction. The words you use don't just describe how you feel, they influence how that energy flows through you in real time. Say something like, "I feel hopeless" out loud, and you can almost feel the drop in your chest. It's like your energy slows, your breath tightens. But now say, "I'm in a process of rebuilding." Doesn't that feel different? More open, more alive? That's the power of conscious language. It doesn't ignore what you're feeling, it just helps you direct that emotion rather than be consumed by it. Think of it like this: your words are conductors, and your emotions are electricity. When you speak with awareness, you create a circuit that moves energy where it's most needed. But when you speak unconsciously, through self-criticism, blame, or defeat, you short-circuit your own growth. It's not about toxic positivity. It's about alignment. Try this. Next time you're feeling low, pause and ask yourself what words you're using to describe that feeling. Are you saying, "I'm broken," or are you saying, "I'm going through something"? That tiny shift can ripple through your body, your mood, and even your outcomes. Energy follows language. Imagine this. You speak a word and it literally changes the structure of water. Sounds like sci-fi, right? But studies, like the ones by Dr. Masaru Emoto, showed exactly that. Water exposed to kind, loving words formed beautiful, harmonious crystals, while water exposed to harsh, hateful words, the crystals were chaotic, distorted. Now, considering the human body is around 70% water, Just imagine what your daily language is doing to you. It's wild how something invisible, sound, can shape something physical. But that's vibration for you. Sound travels through water faster than through air. So every word you speak, every lyric you hum, every phrase you think is sending ripples through your own internal ocean. You're literally sculpting your body, mood, and even your health with sound. And it doesn't stop there. Plants respond to words too. People have run small experiments talking kindly to one plant and yelling at another. The kind one thrives, the other withers. It's not just a cute idea, it's vibrational reality. Everything responds to energy, and words are one of the most precise tools we have to transmit it. So here's a thought. What kind of music are you feeding your inner waters with? What kind of words echo in your mind daily? Because whether you notice it or not, those vibrations are shaping your consciousness from the inside out. And the most exciting part? You can start changing that right now. The brain isn't a fixed machine, it's more like clay, always reshaping itself based on what you feed it. This is what science calls neuroplasticity, and it's a game changer when it comes to language. Every time you repeat a phrase, especially with emotion, you're strengthening a neural pathway. The more you say it, the more automatic it becomes. Your brain literally wires itself around your words. That's why affirmations aren't just feel-good fluff, they're rewiring tools. But here's the secret. They only work when they feel believable. Saying, "I am a millionaire" when you're drowning in debt might create resistance, but saying, "I'm learning to attract wealth" creates openness. It gives your brain a new groove to follow, one based on possibility rather than denial. Think of your thoughts as trails in a forest. The ones you walk the most become clear and easy to follow. But that also means some of those trails, like "I'm not enough" or "I always fail," have been walked so often they've become highways. To shift your reality, you have to start walking new paths, even if they feel awkward at first. Simple practice. Choose one limiting phrase you catch yourself saying often, flip it into something empowering but realistic, and repeat it daily for 21 days. You're not just changing your mindset, you're sculpting your brain, building a mental architecture that supports your growth instead of sabotaging it. Here's something most people never question. Who decides what words mean? When the media labels an event a riot instead of a protest, it's not just semantics, it's strategy. One word evokes chaos, the other suggests purpose. This is the subtle art of framing, and it's one of the most powerful tools used to shape public perception. Words are chosen carefully and they stick, especially when repeated. Our minds are wired for repetition. The more we hear something, the more familiar and therefore true it feels. This is why headlines often use emotionally loaded language to stir reaction, direct attention, and cement certain narratives. Say something is a threat enough times, and even if it isn't, people will feel unsafe. Say it's a miracle, and suddenly it feels divine. Same event, different spell. The trick is, most of this influence flies under the radar. We consume language passively, without noticing the emotional anchors being installed in our psyche. And it's not just news, it's movies, songs, even memes. Everything we take in linguistically becomes part of our inner world, shaping how we interpret life, others, and ourselves. That's why building linguistic discernment is so key. Start paying attention to how things are worded, not just what's being said. Who benefits from you believing that version of the story? Who gets power when you accept that label? When you start asking these questions, you're no longer just a listener. You become a conscious decoder of reality. Now let's get a little quantum. In the world of physics, reality isn't as solid as we think. It's made of probabilities, possibilities, waves of potential. But here's where it gets wild. Those possibilities collapse into reality the moment we observe them and or name them. Yep, words, just like observation, act as a kind of switch, locking in a version of reality. Imagine your life as a field of infinite outcomes. Every word you speak acts like a cursor, selecting one potential path over another. Say, "I'm unlucky," and boom, you've just collapsed the wave into that version. Say, "I attract alignment," and suddenly your energy shifts toward a completely different reality. It's not magic, it's resonance, frequency, conscious creation. This is why speaking intentionally is so much deeper than just thinking positively. It's about understanding that you are literally participating in the shaping of your world moment by moment through language. Every sentence is a spell. Every phrase, a command line in the quantum field. So next time you speak about your future, ask yourself, what am I activating right now? Because words don't just describe your life, they decide it. And once you truly grasp that, well, you'll never speak the same way again. This is where the game changes. Once you realize the power of your words, you stop speaking carelessly. Language stops being automatic and becomes intentional. You begin to notice the little phrases you use to throw around. I'm tired of this. I always mess it up. That's just how life is. These aren't harmless, they're instructions, and once you catch them, you can start rewriting the script. Taking control of your language doesn't mean becoming robotic, it means becoming conscious. You don't have to fake joy or pretend things are perfect. But instead of saying, I'm stuck, you can say, I'm in a process of realignment. One keeps you imprisoned, the other gives you power. It's subtle, but it's a shift in identity, and that changes everything. Start with the small stuff. Replace I have to with I choose to. Shift I can't into I'm learning to. These little tweaks aren't just pretty words. They're keys that unlock new emotional and mental pathways. And once you experience how they affect your mood, your posture, your energy, you'll never go back to passive speech. The truth is you've always been casting spells. The difference now is you know it. That awareness, that's the beginning of mastery. And the more you choose words that reflect your higher self, the more your outer world begins to echo that truth back to you. Now that you've seen the power hidden in your everyday language, what are you going to do with it? Are you still going to say, I can't, I always fail, that's just who I am? Or are you finally ready to speak like someone who's creating their reality on purpose? Because here's the truth. Nothing changes until your language changes. Your words are the seed and your life is the fruit. Speak carelessly and you live by default. Speak with intention and you live by design. So what kind of life are you planting with your voice right now? Start paying attention. Catch the old phrases. Rewrite them. Speak life. Speak growth. Speak possibility. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware. Your next level doesn't start with action. It starts with a single sentence. The one you choose to say next. And now I want to hear from you. What's one phrase you're letting go of today? And what's one new truth you're ready to speak into your life? Drop it in the comments and let's create a ripple together. Oh, and if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Because this is just the beginning, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.